Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to the first edition of a brand new review series where I am going to be talking about Batwoman Season 3, and today I am going to be talking about Episode 1, the season premiere of the show called Mad as a Hatter, which I've just finished watching. And this episode was actually really enjoyable. I thought this was very good and we are off to a good solid start for Season 3. And I'm going to give a quick recap of what's happened from the end of season 2, and then we're going to get straight into talking about episode 1. So, as we all remember, at the end of season 2, Alice revealed to Ryan that her mother was still alive. We saw Luke Fox finally become Batwing and manage to help Batwoman out in a jam. So, we got to see that as well. And also at the very end of the season 2 finale, we got a hint of Poison Ivy, who looks like she is going to be the main villain for season 3. So, as I mentioned already, the first episode of season 3, which, as I mentioned, is called Mad as a Hatter, was really good, very enjoyable. And I had a feeling that they were eventually going to introduce the Mad Hatter into the show because Alice has been very prominent throughout the first two seasons and she's made little references to the Mad Hatter. So it was no surprise that we were going to eventually get the Mad Hatter in the Arrowverse. And also at the end of season 2, which I want to quickly mention, most of Bruce Wayne's trophies that he collected from defeating various members of his rogues gallery as Batman have all gone missing. So, as we see in the first episode, Batwoman and Batwing are on a mission to try and retrieve all of those missing items and return them to where they belong, which is, of course, in the Batcave. So, as I mentioned, very good episode, very enjoyable, off to a good solid start. And yeah, I really like this one. No clunky writing in this episode, just good solid bat action the way it should be. And I thought this was really good. And as always, Rachel Scarsden owns every scene she's in as Alice, and she did it here once again. So, with that all said, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about the season premiere of season 3, episode 1, Mad as a Hatter. So, we kick off this episode where we see the Mad Hatter's hat being found under the bridge at Gotham City, and it's been sold off to a fanboy who is obsessed with Alice, and he dubs himself as the new Mad Hatter. Now, bear in mind, this is not actually Jervis Tetch, who, as we all know, is the original Mad Hatter. This Mad Hatter has the hat, which has the ability to control people using mind control, just like the original Mad Hatter. And as I said already, this guy is more or less just a fan obsessed boy who wants to do everything he can to please Alice. So, an interesting twist, to say the least. We then see Ryan and Luke in full Batwoman and Batwing costume go out in the field together for the first time to locate the missing Poison Ivy sprig and debate about what Luke's code name should be. They successfully obtain the spring and lock it away, but Luke briefly suffers a malfunction in his suit. Mary visits Alice in prison after being told by Jacob to check on her. Alice is optimistic that Jacob will use his connections to get her out of prison as they've been writing each other letters. Later, Mary invites Luke, Ryan, and Sophie to her graduation from med school, but feels sad that her family isn't able to attend. Ryan reassures her that no matter if your real family are not going to be there, this family has your back and will definitely be there, and we won't miss it. Mad Hatter's mind control hat gets sold online to a man who's obsessed with Alice and is launching a campaign to get her out of prison. We then see the nerdy guy wearing the hat and costume of the Mad Hatter while filming a vlog in public and ends up using the mind control abilities to get a man to kill his friend. The crime catches the attention of Renee Montoya, who makes her Arrowverse live action debut, who is a GCPD agent who begins to investigate it despite being regulated to a desk job under the basement. Renee confronts the mayor to ask for more funding to investigate the missing Batman trophies. We then see the Bat team discover the Mad Hatter copycat who was created by a disgruntled neuroscientist named Jervis Tetch and was eventually disabled by Batman. Ryan visits Alice in prison and asks about the copycat, and she suggests that he goes to try and throw a tea party similar to one that got Mary's mother killed, Catherine. Mad Hatter confronts Mary at her graduation, mind controls her into giving a very controversial but pro Alice speech, and then orchestrates a demonstration where Mary is forced to kill Dr. Hall very slowly, the chair of her department, who was responsible for Alice's psychological evaluation. The rest of the Bat team decides that the only way to convince Mad Hatter to undo his mind control is to break Alice out of Arkham. Oh boy. Batsman breaks Alice out while Luke suits up and uses the cell's towers to orchestrate an auditory antidote to the frequency of the Mad Hatter hat. Batwoman helps Alice realize that she's been hallucinating the messages from Jacob and that he's not coming to save her, which makes her agree to reluctantly help. Mad Hatter turns off the electricity and Ryan shows up just in time to save Luke from his suit malfunctioning once again. Sophie helps Mary undo the mind control on herself by using a defibrillator to cause cardiac arrest in Dr. Hall and then bring him back to life. Meanwhile, Alice confronts Mad Hatter, who reveals his vendetta to doctors because they called him crazy. Mad Hatter then uses the mind control hat on Alice, but she kills him. Afterwards, Ryan has Alice taken back to Arkham. Later, Mary performs her actual speech to Ryan, Luke, and Sophie. Ryan also comes up with a name for Luke, Batwing. Love it. Luke discovers that the suit has AI, Lucius Fox, in programmed, and Kate sends Mary an embroidered doctor's coat. Ryan brushes off questions from Mary about her birth mother, something that Alice confronts her about when she visits her in prison. Ryan tells Sophie about the possibility that her family is alive, and Sophie offers to investigate. She discovers that the doctor on Ryan's birth certificate and her mum's death certificate was all fraud, and that her real mother paid $2 million to cover it all up. Sophie gives Ryan the documents that can reveal the name of her birth mother, but Ryan decides not to open it. We then see her Jada Jet arrives in Gotham and learns that Sophie investigated her. Renee Montoya works with Alice to come up with a list of all of the missing Batman villain trophies and orchestrates a plan for Alice and Batwoman to work together to retrieve all of them. Renee Montoya reveals that Alice told her that Ryan is really Batwoman, which she uses as leverage to get Batwoman to agree to help her. And that's how we end episode 1, the season premiere of season 3. Overall, very good, solid episode. The idea of Alice and Batwoman working together at the behest of Renee Montoya is very interesting because Renee Montoya, anybody who knows the comic books, anybody who's seen Batman the animated series will know that Renee Montoya is a hard-nosed cop and she takes no rubbish from anyone. Anybody who's seen Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn, you'll know what I'm talking about. Although Renee Montoya was a bit over the top in the movie, but here she's a lot more grounded, straight up, no nonsense, takes no BS from anybody, which is the way Renee Montoya should be. And I'm interested to see whether or not we'll actually see Renee Montoya become the Question in the Arrowverse, which is something that I've been longing to see for a very long time. So, my thoughts on Batwoman and Alice working together. It's not going to end well. It never does where Alice is concerned. And Luke Fox finally getting his code name, Batwing, and Lucius Fox as an AI in the suit. Brilliant stuff. And even though we didn't see Poison Ivy, she was hinted at and she was referenced a couple of times. We will definitely see her. It's just a matter of when. And as far as the Mad Hatter wannabe, time will tell, really, but I've got a good feeling we haven't seen the last of him. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What did you think of the season 3 premiere of Batwoman? Did you enjoy it? What's your thoughts on Renee Montoya making her debut in the Arrowverse? Do you think she'll play a big part in season 3? And also, how do you think Batwoman and Alice are going to work together, especially with Renee Montoya holding the secret identity of Batman over her head. Could this all blow up in their faces? And also, what's your thoughts on Lucius Fox as an AI for Luke Fox's Batwing suit? How do you think that's going to work? And also, what about the Mad Hatter fanboy? Do you think we will see more of him? And also, do you think it's still a possibility that Alice could turn on Batwoman and hook up with this new version of the Mad Hatter? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Batwoman Season 3 review series, where I am going to be talking about Episode 2, which I'm looking forward to talking about and seeing, especially with the way this episode ended. It really has got me excited, and I'm very curious to see how all of this is going to play out. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, thanks for listening.